freshman composition class and with my 402 class with Dr. Ball. I mean, there was a lot of theory involved and like really looking at all the different pedagogies in the 402. And then 401 was a lot of just really seeing what works, interacting with the students. I was able to see what I could take on to teach in my own class next semester, and maybe what I might not want to use. It was a little hard because I didn't feel like I had the same amount of authority as the lead teacher, but still, I think it was definitely a very, very good experience for me, and I think it really prepared me for what's going to happen next semester. So another thing we talked about this semester was responding to student writing. Nancy Summers wrote an article called Responding to Student Writing, and Peter Elbow had another article that we read called Ranking, Evaluating, and Liking, Sorting Out Three Forms of Judgment. But I think the whole idea really hit me after interviewing Dr. Nyla for the video that we made in class. And she was talking about how she responded to students as though they were peers or equals. And it was more giving advice than judging them. And she used the example of how she works in her poetry group, or the Tolkien, C.S. Lewis example of their literary club, the Inklings. And I think I want to respond to students the same way. I want to be able to help them out and suggest, what if you tried this? Or do you really think that? What if it went this way? More than saying, this is wrong. You need to fix this. You shouldn't be saying things like this in your essay. I want to look at them like they're peers, equals, that they have something valuable to say, and just trying to figure out a way to help them communicate that better. So another crucial aspect to my teaching philosophy is the cultural studies and rhetoric pedagogies. I think that these are really important because if I can help my students understand the images and the advertisements and the television and movies that they surround themselves with, I think that's going to be useful to them outside of the university and inside as well, because I think if they learn those things, they're going to be able to apply them to their majors when they go off and get out of all of their gen eds and actually start getting into their major coursework. So I feel like we've worked on this a little bit this semester. We had them at the very beginning make posters of a activity or hobby that they like to do and kind of make it up as if it was a new club. And they really had to think about the audience, the purpose, the genre that they were participating in, and that's really where the rhetoric comes in with the cultural studies part of this. And I feel like we got responses that said that A, they really liked it a lot, and B, it really helped them when they were going to look at audience and purpose with other things because they had done this example first. So I would really like to do more of that in my class and also work it in with the multimodal studies. So another part of my teaching philosophy is going to be working with multimodality. I feel like working with computers and images, sound, video, is going to be something that the students are really going to enjoy participating in, and also something that's going to be relevant to them after this class is over. A lot of the stuff that I looked at for my 402 class, though it was personally on my own, the things that I chose had to do with multimodal studies. I went to a conference, the Great Plains Alliance for Computers and Writing in Ames, Iowa, and that offered a lot of really solid projects that I could be working on in class. The journal I looked at was the Journal of Visual Literacy, which was very interesting because it had so many interdisciplinary articles. It would talk about how you could do something relating to movies, or how you could relate writing and video making to veterinary studies. And so that's really important in a composition class like those that we have at ISU, because you don't ever have everyone from the same major. You have a mix of it. So these are good ideas for being able to try and include everyone. The textbook that I looked at was Picturing Texts, and that was really interesting for just looking at images. It didn't focus on video or audio or anything like that, but looking at posters, looking at paintings, looking at photographs. And so for my next semester for teaching, I really would like to incorporate something that is multimodal. We didn't have a chance to do it in class this semester besides posters and stuff like that, but I learned about video editing tool that's more like a slideshow of pictures where you could add audio using the Audacity program, which would maybe be even more feasible than doing a video like I'm making now because of limitations with cameras and equipment and stuff like that. So that's something I'm looking to do next semester. Yeah, so I really think that's what my teaching philosophy is about. I think the cultural studies is going to be very relevant and interesting for the students, and it meshes so well with looking at rhetoric and looking at who you're writing to and tailoring your writing for that person. And then just the multimodal aspect of it all is something that the students will hopefully be interested in, and hopefully it is something that they can take on past basic composition class. I think that they will be learning things that they can take on and use for the rest of their life. Maybe they'll become the next great YouTube artist. Who knows? But I think it'll be very interesting seeing how all of this pans out next semester, my own freshman composition class.
So I wonder if I can work the weather in December into my teaching philosophy. Alright, so there's a couple of reasons why I feel that this was informal. A, that's just my personality. B, I don't think I'm going to be a teacher in a couple of years, though, as we all know, things change in a year or two. So really I think this is more for me and reminding me what I learned this semester, and maybe even to show my students, this is what you're in for in this class. My third reason would be that since I'm talking so much about multimodality, I kind of thought a video would be the way to go. And this was the best way I could think of it because, last reason, no one wants to see me sitting on a couch for 5 minutes, so I thought I'd mix it up a little bit for you guys. All right? Thanks.
Very good.